Let's take these kids' movies and turn them into horror masterpieces, starting with The Grinch. First, I'll erase this text on the top and lift up the image before adding more ground to the bottom. I'm thinking we add something into his hand, so let's add some pliers, which will make sense in a little bit. After putting those pliers in the Grinch's hand, I'll add some teeth below it, kind of like a worse version of the Tooth Fairy that just kind of takes teeth that are still in your mouth. I'll put some shadows onto the ground below the teeth and onto his hand below the pliers. But I don't really know if that's good enough, so let's add another suspicious weapon in front of him and also add a present to his right. Let's use Liquify to edit his eyes and most importantly his mouth so he looks more devious before adding some suspicious liquid onto the knife and the teeth. I'm also going to add a splat onto the ground below the knife and do the same for the teeth. But if the teeth have blood, then so should the pliers. And if you're wondering what this gift is for, well, it's going to have some blood near the top. Let's add back some of that blood onto the inside of the box and then add some more Kool-Aid onto the ground. I also tried adding some onto his hands, but I didn't really like the look of it, so let's put it on his face. Let's add back the title at the bottom and erase the illumination text, but I will add that back and put it on the top before coating the title in some strawberry jam. Finally, let's bring this cute little guy into the camera raw filter to bring it all together. So this is the Grinch as a horror poster. We still have 4 more posters to make, so let's move on to the next movie, Robots, which came out in 2005, so it's as old as me. Let's start by adding some cracked glass on the left eye and do the same for the right. Next, we'll add some rust onto his chest to make him look more run down. I also think we should change the color of the background because, you know, red means horror. And then I'll also add some more rust spots onto his face. After that, we'll put a crack on his head and erase the end of it before adding another one on his chest. I'll add in a gritty texture around the robot to make it look even more run down and old, but I guess to make this look even more scary, we'll make his eyes red. Because, well, like I said earlier, red... scary? Let's make a circle over this screw so it looks like it's not there anymore, and then go around the robot with some oil, which I would assume is blood, right? After that, I'll add even more oil onto the background, and finally, I'll add some glow onto the eyes, and of course, add a camera raw filter. So here is Robots as a horror movie. The next poster I'm gonna turn into horror is Chicken Little. No, not that poster. I meant this poster. But if the sky was really falling, then I don't think Chicken Little looks too prepared. I mean, all he has is rope and like an acorn. So first, let's remove the acorn and replace it with a sword. I'll put it more into the grass before pulling out a revolver and giving it to, wait, what's his name? Wait, his name is Ace Cluck? Did anyone even know that? I thought his name was just Chicken Little. Okay, but after adding the revolver, I'm also gonna give him some arrows and a shield. Let's make that shield look more used, and by that I mean adding blood. I'll put some onto the sword and then flip the bag of arrows and add some highlights. I'll change up the background color and add some rain. I'll make the bottom of the sky more purple before coloring over the glasses and making it more see-through. Let's put a little crack into the lenses on the left and finally bring it all together with a camera raw filter. And before we move on to the Minions, we have one other poster we need to turn into horror, and that is Shrek. Let's add this forest from the movie and take out the background on this outhouse. And okay, that was actually pretty good. So let's put that in front of the group, but we are gonna have to remove them and their shadows. And to bring this more into the scene, we'll make it look like it's in the grass. Next, we need to color over this door, but we can't leave this blank, so I'll add some wood and darken it up, and then add a floor. Shrek is pretty big, so let's adjust the size of this before adding Donkey in the background, behind this tree. Let's put my bro on the tree up here and give him some shadows. I'm also gonna add some text on the wood and give it some depth, and then I'll put Shrek in the middle and make him black. No, dude, not like that. Let's erase the parts of his body in front of the outhouse to make him look like he's inside of it, and then add a copy of the arms and make them look like they're coming out of the shadows. And apparently they have some Kool-Aid in there, so he's got some red liquid on his hands. And I'll add some little splats onto the ground and then do it again with a grass-looking brush. Let's fix up the colors of the image before adding some blood onto this tree and finishing it up by adding this title, changing the color, and adding a texture. So here is Shrek, but horror. Before we move on to the final movie poster, I want you guys to let me know which kids' movies I should do next. So leave a comment down below and I might do it in a future video. But now it's time for the final movie poster, the Minions. So let's take the fire off the screen and bring it into the real scene. Okay, that's actually kind of hot. In Despicable Me 4, the Minions got superpowers, specifically Mega Mel with the laser. And you can probably guess where I'm gonna go from there, but let's start off with a simple white background and add the title at the top. Let's try to remove the background on the Mega Minion. Okay, let's just fix that up real quick. All right, let's put Mel on the left and add some shadows to make him look like he's on the ground. I'm also gonna add another minion on the right side and just cut off the top of his head. Next, we need to remove the mouth and then put the head to the side. And I also think we should draw over the eyeballs and make them look closed. After that, we'll give the body some more depth and fill that in. We'll remove the mouth on this part and give this minion some insides, but we also need to add some shadows below the minion and its head. I'll go over the bottom of the head with some blood and then do it again on the body. Let's put a little spot on his overalls because, you know, why not? But obviously this laser isn't complete, so let's recreate it and make it longer before adding some more effects to make it look more hot and laser-like. We'll erase the original laser and then add some red highlights onto the minion's head and body as well as the ground. But wait a minute, if his head is on the ground right here, shouldn't there be some liquid below it like this? Yeah. I like that. Finally, let's adjust the title by making it Minions Revenge and then add a camera raw filter. So here is the final poster. If you enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe and tell someone you love them. And if you want to watch another video, check out one of these. They look pretty fun, right?